Exactly how much money you should keep in the bank. That's a really good question, and realistically, these days, it sounds like a little bit of a trick question, but I can assure you it is certainly not a trick question, but it is what I want to focus on right here in this video because it is something that's very important and there are some key numbers about your exact situation that you should probably understand, but we're actually going to go off the grid a little bit in this video, and I want to share with you my ideas about this as far as how much money should you really have at the bank, or is there a better solution? I can tell you this much, there's a better solution. There's always a better solution for everything. So let's get into it and discuss the details. However, really fast before we get into that, I just want to say this much. I am very much sensitive to the fact that many people right now are struggling and simply don't have much money around in the bank or extra money laying around at all. It would almost be a miracle for anybody to have extra money in the bank right now. So I completely understand that. I do not want to dismiss that point, but in the event that things turn around, which they will, things will get better, or if more money is sent our way, I want to lay it all out for you and let you know what I think would be a good number as far as how much money you should have in the bank, or number two, a better solution. So let's get right into it. All right, so number one, what are my ideas and thoughts about saving money? Realistically, with the current situation that we're currently in right here, right now, saving money is a terrible idea. Having money sitting around in a savings account, the green stuff, cash, laying around in your house or in your wallet, your purse, in your dresser drawer, things like this. Again, a little bit is fine, but thousands upon thousands of dollars, not a smart idea. And here's why I'm going to say that. And then we'll get into, of course, talking about exactly how much you actually need. Here's why. Inflation is very high right now. That money is losing purchasing power every single day. So that same $1 bill that you have laying on your dresser is becoming less and less and less. Now, it doesn't mean that we're out there with a black marker crossing out the one and turning it into a 0.99, 0.98, 0.97 every single day. No, I'm not saying that. I'm simply saying that $1 could maybe buy you a pack of gum a year ago. Today, it can maybe buy you a 3/4 of a pack of gum. In 3 weeks from now, it might be able to buy you 2/3 of a pack of gum. That's what I'm saying about this, is that the purchasing power is depleting each and every day for the dollar. So I am very much in the camp right now of saving money is not necessarily a good idea. But does that mean you should deplete your bank account? Deplete all the cash you have? No, I'm not saying that at all. Having some around is a great idea, but too much is not really that smart, okay? Just because it is losing its value every single day. So why would you keep something that's depreciating every single day? Again, not great. So let me talk about this and tell you a few things here as far as what I think. Again, these are all based on my opinions and based on things that have worked for me in my personal life, as well as all the research and everything that I've done throughout the course of my life. I've studied this stuff for a very long time. It's very fascinating to me. I love learning about finance, investing, the stock market, money, and how to expand money through multiple sources of income, passive income, all kinds of different things. It's very fascinating to me. I love it, and I love sharing my experiences and the knowledge about it with many of you right here in the community. All right, so here's what I want to say this much. Whatever your monthly expenses are, now here's what I would highly encourage you to do. Now, obviously, probably everybody talks about this. Basically, anybody that talks about budgeting and how to, get out of debt or how much money to save, they probably all say the exact same thing. And I agree with this. This is something that we should probably understand. What are your monthly expenses? Again, I would highly encourage you to look through your bank account, maybe look through your credit card statements, look through your checkbook. If you still write checks, I'm not sure. Does anybody write checks anymore? You know what I mean? But anyway, my point is, figure out how much money you're spending every single month, right? What I would do is take it over maybe a 3 or 4 month period of time and figure it out, because each month is going to vary a little bit. Maybe one month you spend $900. Maybe the next month you spend $1,050. The next month you spend $980. The next month you spend, $1,100. So basically take it out across maybe multiple months, 3, 4 months, something like this, and kind of average it all out to get an idea of where you're currently sitting. So again, to get the average, add it all up and divide it by the number of months. We'll give you kind of an average to kind of give you a ballpark or a range, right? So you might say your range is anywhere between $900 and $1,100 a month. Again, just giving examples for easy mathematical purposes here. All right, so once you've figured out a range, as in range being between $900 and $1,100 is what I can expect to spend just on what I typically do on any given month of time. Now, you also might want to figure out, like I said, your average. So, if your range is $900 to $1,100, you might want to figure out your average is, $1,020 or, whatever it happens to average out to be. So now you have this information. You probably want to keep this in the back of your mind, and you probably want to set at least 2 months aside for this. Now, some people say you want 1 month's worth of savings. I'm not sure about you, but 1 month's time goes by very, very fast. If you only have 1 month set aside, again, that's fine, but you got to be on your feet. You got to be, like a hot potato. You got to be dancing all around. You got to be on your game, and you got to make things happen really fast because a month goes by very, very fast. I mean, let's be real right now, right? You wake up one day, and it's the first of the month, and then before you know it, it's the end of the month, and it's the next month already, right? Rent is due once again. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. 2 months. 2 months will give you that amount of time where you can think fast, you can be on your feet, be on your toes, and you can get ahead of things and not try to get too far behind. Because here's the thing, I've said this before and I want to say it again, this is something that I live by in my own life, and I'm very kind of strict about this. Staying ahead is kind of easy to do, right? And this is for anything, with fitness, with diet, with money, with keeping up with the yard work. I mean, literally cleaning your house. It does not matter. Anything. This pertains to anything. Keeping up is relatively easy to do, but when you get behind, it's really hard to keep up. It's really hard to catch up. It's really hard to get back in the game when you're behind. That's what all I'm saying here. The same thing applies, like I said, to finances, to cleaning your house, literally anything. Fitness, it's everything. I actually relate this to everything in my own personal life. I say this to my wife all the time. Staying ahead is kind of easy to do, to maintain. It's kind of easy. It doesn't take all that much effort. But once you get behind, it takes like double or triple the effort just to get back on top of the game again. So that's all I'm saying here. So anyway, once you kind of figure this out and you kind of have a couple months set aside, this is where you can start playing with a few things here and kind of moving forward with your life and kind of figuring out the next step forward. However, here's what I want to say as well. Like I said, there's a better solution. And here's the better solution that I would say too. It doesn't necessarily mean that you need to have 2 months worth of your expenses set aside. So in the example that I gave, that would mean that you'd have over $2,000 of cash, set aside in a checking account, savings account, cash in your, dresser drawer, whatever happens to be, things like that. That would be good too, but at the end of the day, I'm also in the camp of having other solutions, a better solution, and that would be access to cash. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that you need to have the money in your possession at any given time in the form of, cash in a savings account, a checking account, cash in your room, things like this. That's not what I'm saying. That would be good, but even just access to that cash is equally as good. Now, what I want to say by that is maybe you have a personal loan. Maybe you have a line of credit. A line of credit, in my opinion, is probably the best way to achieve this, and here's why. A line of credit works just like a credit card. You can draw on it whenever you want, you can pay it back whenever you want, and it's just there for you. It's always there kind of hanging out in the wings. It's available to you when you need it, but when you don't need it, it just sits there and it just waits and waits and waits. It's a perfect financial instrument, in my opinion, as far as what you can do to actually have extra cash around, but not actually have your hard-earned dollars sitting there depleting every single day. You have somebody else's money sitting there depleting, and who cares? You can draw on it whenever you want. So it's not really your liability, right? However, when you draw on it, then it becomes your liability. So that's what you got to be aware of. So in my opinion, in the event that you were able to get some kind of financial product, I would say a line of credit is by far the best way to do this. I'll be honest with you. I have a line of credit myself. Love it. I draw on it all the time. And then I pay it back, right? So when I have a situation that comes up where I need some extra cash, I draw on the line of credit. It's awesome. Love it. It just sits there for me. I draw on it whenever I want. I use it as much as I possibly want. And then when I have a little bit of extra money, I pay it back. Maybe I pay back $100 at a time. Maybe I pay it all back at one time. Whatever happens to fit for my situation, but I pay it back as quickly as I possibly can, because anytime that money is outstanding, I'm paying interest on it. And I don't want to pay interest, ever. I don't like paying interest because why? It's just wasted money, right? I don't like to waste money. So in my own personal life, I have a line of credit. I absolutely love it. I use it all the time. And when it comes down to saving money, I'll be honest with you, I don't save money. I have a couple $100, maybe $1,000, maybe $2,000 in some instances in a bank account. Other than that, I don't keep any money sitting around because there's no point. There's no point to keep something that's going to deplete every single day. So rather than that, I get rid of the money. I use it to pay down debts, to pay down credit cards, to pay down other bills and things like that. And then I rely on that line of credit. So that's what I'm saying. However, I want to warn you of this. And again, this is not financial advice in any way, shape, or form. I don't know your situation. I don't know, a lot of things that I would need to know about you in order to give you kind of advice. So this is not advice in any way, shape, or form. However, this is what I would, if I were back in this situation again, I would absolutely 100% be looking at a line of credit. This is what I would be doing because it's amazing, right? However, I want to throw this out there as well. You can also achieve this by using credit cards. But again, please be very, very careful. Here's the difference between credit cards and a line of credit. On my line of credit that I have, the interest rate is 2.99%. It's very, very low, right? That's very low for a line of credit. However, on a credit card, I have multiple of those also. I do have credit cards and I love using them because why wouldn't I? Why? You know what I mean? Why not put it on the plastic? I love using credit cards. However, let me tell you the differences here. My line of credit has an interest rate of 2.99%. However, my credit card has an interest rate of like 19.75% or something, like 20% interest. It's nuts. So if I was going to float a balance on something, or if I needed to borrow money from somewhere, am I going to go to a credit card or am I going to go to the line of credit? Obviously the line of credit, 100% every single time, right? So sometimes what I do is I do this. I go out to the stores, I do my shopping, whatever it needs to be, groceries, gas, clothes, whatever it happens to be, doesn't really matter. Whatever things that I'm spending money on at the time, I put it all on the credit card. Why? Because I want to get the credit card points, which ultimately translates into statement credits, gift cards, cash, things like this. It translates into credit card points. And then sometimes if I need to pay it off and I don't have the cash in my bank account, which like I said a minute ago, I don't even have much money in my bank account ever. I keep a few $100s, maybe a couple $1,000s at the most at any given time in a bank account. And then if I need to, if the credit card is more than what I have available to me, I go into the line of credit, pull out the necessary money that I have, pay off the credit card. All the 19.75% or nearly the 20% interest on the credit card is paid down, gone, zero, and now I'm paying a 2.99% interest rate on a line of credit, which ultimately I will just pay back as the cash comes into me. I pay it down, and then again, it's all zeroed out, and I do it again. Rinse and repeat over and over and over again. I'm paying virtually like zero interest. I mean, obviously, it's a little bit of interest, not much, and then I pay that interest off on the line of credit, and all's good. You kind of see how the system works? So I've been doing this for quite a while now. I absolutely love this system. So when it comes down to the answer of how much money should you keep in the bank, here's what I'm going to say. Figure out your living expenses. How much are your living expenses? I would say, again, run it out 2, 3, 4 months, something like this, longer the better, and then kind of get a range. Your range is from blank to blank. On the low end to the high end, that's your range. And then also calculate the average to figure out, okay, my range is, 1,000 to 2,000, which that'd be a huge range, by the way. Maybe your range is, say, 1,000 to 1,500. But my average is $1,240 a month. Okay, good. Now that you have this information. And then again, you could either have this money saved in a bank account, checking account, savings account, something like this, or the other part of the equation, like I said, the better solution is having access to the cash. And that's what I like to focus on because to me, I don't want to have hard-earned dollars sitting around in a bank account disappearing, turning to dust every single day. Why? Doesn't make any sense to me. That's me though. Again, this doesn't make sense to me, but it could make perfect sense to you. Again, not everything always makes sense in my head, but I'm just simply saying this is how I approach the situation. So I figure out my situation, and then not only do I maybe have that money sitting around available to me, or the better solution, like I said, is have somebody else's cash available in the form of a line of credit. Again, credit card, be careful with that one. I would say pay it down as fast as you possibly can in the event that you have any balances floating on a credit card because interest rates are very, very high. Pay it off as fast as you possibly can because that interest rate on a credit card can get ahead of you really, really fast and it's hard to keep up. Like I said, it's easy to maintain, but as soon as you get behind, it's very hard to catch up and it's very hard to get back into the game again. So anyway, that's all I wanted to say in this video is rather than focusing on how much money you need to have in the bank, focus on where can I have access to the cash, right? And again, it could be a personal loan that you can draw on at any given time. It could be a line of credit. It could be a credit card. It could be a variety of other financial products. There's a lot of different things that are available out there. Do some research on this. But my ultimate favorite is a line of credit because interest rates are very, very low. And you can access it anytime that you want, whenever you want. It takes about 3 seconds to transfer money into your bank account, and boom, you've got it available immediately. Anyway, hope this one helps you out. Thanks again for watching this. I really do appreciate it. Please make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet. Share the video with your friends, family, social media, and go back and check out some of the other thousands of videos right here on the channel. Please remember, I'm here for you in any way that I possibly can be. I know it's a tough time right now. I know that money is really tight for a lot of people, but we'll get through this, and money will be flowing again at some point, and I want to help you get to that point and help you out throughout the process. So again, thanks so much for being here. Subscribe, share, and go back and check out the other videos. Enjoy your day. Until next time, have a good one, and I'll catch you again later in the next